Michael Starkey. Brigade, I'm a member of the Central Mountains Brigades, Blue Mountains Brigades. I've been in the RFS since January 1978, so that's about 40 years. Well, for my sins, really quickly, I've been executive positions, member to the executive on the juniors committee to help train the juniors. I was a deputy captain within 3 or 4 years of joining the brigade. I've been deputy captain, senior deputy captain, deputy group leader, captain again, silly enough to be captain again. Just recently I stepped down from captain, I'm now a firefighter. Done a lot of things in that time, seen a lot of stuff, a lot of interesting fireground stories. A lot of things have changed over that period of time. My main occupation is I'm a civil engineer and I work at a power station west of here. No disclaimer, anything I say here in this interview has got no reflection on my employer. Before that I worked for Defence for a couple of years, and before that I worked for the local council and did a lot of stuff there, civil engineering. Yeah, good question. Actually these days I don't have a lot of hobbies. I guess my hobby in some ways is the RFS, doing stuff for the RFS. Look, before that I used to do a fair bit of stuff sporting wise. I used to play touch footy. I used to referee touch footy for the Blue Mountains and Penrith District, and then also Sydney. And it was right after the 1977 bushfires, and a good friend of mine at the time, was in the brigade, and he'd been there for a month or two. He was trying to say to me, well, why don't you come along? And 77 bushfires hit. They're quite devastating here in the Blue Mountains. It's the first time that I'd seen, and maybe it was because I was young and impressionable, a section of our house where I lived in Lawson caught fire. They quickly got it out, the fire brigade got it out. I was one of these local people that just sort of went round to their friends' houses and threw buckets of water on the fire as it was coming out. Immediately following the 77 bushfires, I did go to a brigade meeting in January 78, and the brigade said, oh look, we just want to have a brigade debrief for those fires. Can you come back in the February meeting? Which I did, and I joined then. I guess my pride, to be brutally honest, at the time I thought, oh well, chicks really dig guys in uniform, which was a little bit incongruous, because whenever you're wearing a uniform, you know where girls are, so that didn't work. 2001 I think it was, and that was the day that Elvis saved our skin. We were out on the Ingar picnic trail, and this fire was burning at no more than 300 millimetres, and it was trickling along very slowly. The crew had gone down the fire trail for a bit of a wander because it wasn't coming out of us that quick. And I was leaning against the tanker as the driver, and I thought, oh, now it's time for a smoko. I'll put the billy on and I'll go and get a banana. And I walked from the front door of the tanker to the back door of the to the back of the tanker. And in that time I heard a crackle, and I looked around, and it started to, the fire had started to go probably twice its height, and I thought, gee, that's interesting. And then by the time I went round to the other side of the tanker, the driver's side, the fire had gone to a crown fire. So our procedure was 3 blasts on the siren to get the crew back, and I saw them in the rearview mirror running behind me, and we picked them up, and they jumped the fire trail, went down to the gully in front of us, and was starting to burn back underneath us, and we got the tanker into a defensive position, and we're ready there with the sprinklers, and that's with the day Elvis saved us. He came along and did a big water drop on the fire and knocked it out, and all 3 brigades, I think there was Lawson, Hazelbrook, and I think Woodford, I'm not really sure, brigades were there. And that was an impressionable day. It was one that, I don't think we were going to get cooked, but it could have been interesting. We would have probably had a few paint bubbles blister on the tanker, so that was a good day to be not there. We were fortunately got out. The added burden, I think it's probably the way to do it, is you're also a firefighter and you're going to be going out on the crew, and it's one of those things that you want to make sure that they're okay, and you've got to make sure that they're okay in your mind. Whatever, you become a little bit of an old mummy that way, mother that way, mother of the brigade. Hey, look, what I'd say to somebody that's thinking of joining a brigade or joining the RFS is that People join for their own personal reasons. Some people join because they want something in their life that gives their life purpose, and if that's the only reason that you're joining, and perhaps you need to dig a little bit deeper, you have to have that little bit of, I want to protect the community, I want to be there for the community, and I want to do some good within the community. So that's one of the reasons that you're joining. But look, you're going to get a lot of training. A lot of the training is built up from experiences from guys like me telling the stories when they come back about what's happened, and it's really, really good training. You go as far as you like and just get into the training. It's really good stuff. To be a firefighter, it then links to what are the values of the organisation or the RFS or whatever, and the organisation does have its values as well. I think 3 words, what it means to be a firefighter is community, because the RFS and the brigades do come from the community, and we are part of the community, and we are there to help and protect the community in times of need. I think courage is another word, because courage is something that you do need to do this. You can't go in there and be, I guess, a scaredy cat. Better to be a live coward rather than a dead hero, but you do need courage to front up to what you're going to see and what you're going to be facing. And the other thing I think you need, or I'm sure is one of the other third ones, is camaraderie, because the brigade organisation at a lot of different levels, and within the brigades there's a lot of camaraderie that goes on. There needs to be, you need to work together. So community, courage and camaraderie, I think are the 3 words that I would see means to be a member of the Rural Fire Service.